Hey, I want to sit down and talk about, and I usually try to keep the countries and what's going on in the world down to the scriptures. We see North Korea just has set off an earthquake at over 5 point something with a bomb. He's been talking about this and everybody's been ignoring North Korea for a minute, and we already know what's going on with us being at war right now, that he's going to choose the other side, all right, because of his hatred toward the U.S. Now, if you look at these people are of the same thing. We read in the Bible where we had, Persia and the Chaldeans, which is Syria and the Syrians. Then we sit down and we have the Hittites, the Canaanites, the Edomites, and all the rights to the ites. And these people were built on barter, trade, war, and the fruit off the land. This has been going on. Who are the people? These people have turned into the Hungarians, the Mongolians, the China, Japan, the Europeans, the Greeks, the Romans, and these are the people. So just like the illusion of perception of things, just because you change a region and name, all right, of a people, you can change. The Bible tells you the action, the personality, how they think, and how they act. Now, with that being said, let's get to the Middle East, and even with that, look at Turkey, Saudi Arabia. Those are more European, people-looking people and actions and ways. They coincide with the other people, just like we have some of the Africans that are of a certain E1, B1, B1 that mysteriously, turned Caucasian and fled to the mountains. A lot of people don't know this, and scientists are still baffled. You can find that same bloodline with that African descent, up in the European, Russia, and stuff like that area that have probably spread out. So how do we know? We know in how people think. How do they believe? How do they treat you? Are they treating you as they want to be treated? So do they believe in the same way? Does this mean that, okay, this was erased from the fallen ones, the Nephilim? Are they all going to go to hell? No. Because if we read, and which a lot of you don't, in Enoch and other books that the elite and others don't want others to see and put into publication unless you go get it yourself, like that or in the Bible, we see in Enoch where it stated that he had let the angels know that there's going to be plenty of Gentiles that are going to come over into Christ up into heaven. All right? Multitudes and multitudes that like the sea, like sand. All right? So, and stars up in heaven. And that is one of the other great miracles and mysteries. So is how people think and treat each other and how they act. Because there's going to come a time where no matter what you believe, no matter what I believe, it's whoever controls the assets and what's going on in the world. And they're a group of people. So if they think spiritually, if they know that there is a heaven and a hell, and they've made a decision to work with Satan and to be of Satan because they know they are of that seed and of something, so it doesn't make a difference on what you think, but to think righteously and think the right way if you want to get to heaven. Because what you think and how you think the world or perceive it to be and what's going on technically isn't what these people that are pushing the button think. They know about the scrolls. They know about certain tablets that are still hidden in the Smithsonian, or some of them in their mansions and houses that they fashion their barter, their trade, and the world on. The world's been pushed on weaponry and selling and making money off of weaponry since the beginning of time, since it was introduced by the fallen ones to the cultures. That's why we have the farmers and the hunters. All right. So with that being said, you can tell who these people are. They didn't call them white, black. They called them by their biblical names, which turned into what we sign on our birth certificates of regions, because that's how the world was fashioned into to cover up the truth in order for Satan to deceive the nations so he can have a one world rule. With that being said, pay attention to what's going on, because we're not being told the truth on the news. A lot of us are running with the scripture. If you don't know and you don't want to have the knowledge and the truth, believe and have faith and live righteously and treat others as you want to be treated. Other than that, we can usually tell what's going to happen by looking, at least I can, by looking at the movement of how these people and these cultures have been, okay, for since the beginning of time. Some of them have switched over and found the truth, and they don't want to be a part of what their ancestry is. So that's why it says never judge a book by its cover, but only as how they think and treat you, their consciousness, their renewing of their mind. So with that being said, have a good day, and be blessed, because it's the righteous against the unrighteous. There's not a nation, a color, or anything. Do you believe in the Messiah? Do you believe in the scriptures? Do you believe that we are living in the end times? All right, do you believe and act as of righteousness so you can have eternal life and a double portion?